Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I've got game number 1 of a best of 1 coming up. It's a TvT taking place on Polar Night and to the south position as the blue Terran player, representing Team Dignitas, none other than SeleCT. And his opponent, up in the north, the red Terran, it's a barcode player. I don't know who this barcode player is, nor am I aware of if it's going to get revealed throughout this game. This is a replay, got it online, and I've cast quite a few of SeleCT's games. He's a great player, took a bit of time out of StarCraft 2, but still is really solid. Came back to Team Dignitas just because they were obviously so good to him originally when he was first in obviously StarCraft 2, so came back to a team that he knows and that he loves. So, what can we be expecting out of these two? Well, there's quite a few different openings in TvT, lots of different ways to go. Reapers are relatively good to come and poke and prod, you can get some nice damage down there. Quick command centers out are also very solid if you want to be looking for kind of just a more economic favoured play. Looks like the barcode player is going to be getting down the barracks first. Note that the rally point is straight away across the map. So this could signal that he's going for Reapers, especially with that refinery now on its way down. SeleCT on the other hand though is going to be playing this really greedy, specifically going for a CC first. Nice little trick we saw there, he lowered the supply depot just to minimise the time it takes this SCV to get down to the natural base. It's a minor adjustment, but it can make just a little bit of an advantage that will tie out really well for you. A second barracks is now being produced by the barcode Terran player. With this refinery, double Reaper production is viable. Double Reapers can be exceptionally hard to defend, especially against what SeleCT is doing here, which is getting down a CC first into a barracks. He's not going to have very many defensive forces, and the Reapers, incredibly potent up against a small number of Marines. They deal good damage, but also, as long as they're not killed, they can move out and regenerate health up very quickly, which is something the Marines can't do. The command center though, that's half done. So assuming SeleCT doesn't just die to this or take catastrophic damage, he'll actually be alright, but this scouting SCV has missed the second barracks. This is actually a very big mistake from SeleCT, or not actually so much a mistake, it's a big oversight not checking down here to see what else is coming through. The Reaper should be able to get a kill on this SCV, won't be able to get away. Reapers are a lot faster than SCVs, so already one casualty has been claimed. Marine production now starting up. The double orbital command is going to get started too, and that's actually quite a big boost for SeleCT. As long as he doesn't die outright, having those 2 mules means that he can be about 5 workers down on his opponent and still end up with a better income due to the second mule. A second a second barracks is now in production. The Marines just going to try and force back these Reapers. The single Reaper isn't really very scary, but once we start getting more across the map, it gets a lot harder to deal with. The reactor and tech lab coming down on each of the barracks for the barcode player. The Marines getting a little bit of damage down, but one already dying, which isn't ideal. Gonna have to back away from that. We can see that some decent damage already being done. One Reaper gets very low with only 3 HP, but is already regenerating back up. So we need to see if that Reaper is going to get taken down. Should go down, so that's good. Still 2 Reapers remain though. SeleCT being forced to pull these SCVs, just buying himself as much time as possible. 1 Reaper there, down to 15 HP. A factory now in production as well. If we do see Hellions come out, they're going to be very potent up against these Reapers. In total, 5 workers have been killed so far. SeleCT still producing 2 at a time, but he's taking significant losses now, and this isn't ideal for him. Starting to lose a good number of these SCVs, but a Reaper is sniped down, leaving only 1 Reaper left on the field. Back at home, the barcode player does have his natural base nearly completed, but he's about to lose all of these Reapers if he's not very careful. 7 workers in total killed, SeleCT down 18 to 23, but he does have that second mule, and what that means is income wise, if he mules consistently, he shouldn't be in too many problems. Does go for a quick scan just to see what's coming out, scouts that 3rd command center, and that's a big scout there knowing that's coming down. He doesn't know about the natural, but he can assume that it would be a low ground natural base rather than being built in the main. This Hellion now from SeleCT, going to be able to take down the final Reaper, cutting all further harassment very effectively. Stim is about half done for the barcode player. He's also adding in his factory. This factory is significantly later than SeleCT, who's already got his starport done. That gives a pretty large tech boost to the Dignitas player, and something that he's going to be trying to exploit moving forward with that solid advantage. The third CC though, from the Red Terran player, does allow him to start trying to catch up with the early economic lead that SeleCT tried to secure with the CC first opening, and while the work count does still favour the Red Terran player, SeleCT's been muling consistently, and that's giving him a decent economic boost, but overall their economies should be, well, it should actually be favouring at the moment the Red Terran due to having that natural base up, but SeleCT just sticking with it at the moment. We see a small little gain in the gas income coming from the Red Terran player for the moment. Both players producing consistently. Nice little scan there comes down from the Red Terran. Sees the medevac moving out. Marines quickly trying to get into a good position, but they get scouted by the medevac. So SeleCT, completely aware with what's going down, backs away towards the safety of that bunker. Gonna need to start repairing it up though. Does get some repairs through. Is it going to be enough? Nice positioning of that Hellion. Able to get a shot across the entire line of Marines, weakening so many of them so drastically. Without medevac support, those Marines do have to be exceptionally careful. They do have stim, whereas SeleCT is a long way off from having his own stim up. But it's got to be used conservatively. Every stim damages the infantry units, and without medevacs in place to heal them back up, you've got to be very cautious when you use it. We do, of course, have Combat Shield coming down, as well as the +1 infantry attack from the barcode player, whereas SeleCT, he's busy just waiting for stim, and he's also getting down his own engineering bay now, so he's a bit behind in terms of the upgrades, but is still ahead in the medevac count and also the tech overall. Plus, SeleCT, he's pushing across the map. He's going to be attempting to get a drop going down. Marine count does favour SeleCT here, but he's not taking the engagement due to not having stim. Trying to do a nice little bit of pick up and drop micro. Force a couple more stims out. That medevac getting just a little bit low, wanting to be a bit more cautious. A second engineering bay and an armory getting queued up now, ready to start those 2-1 upgrades for the barcode Terran player. Meanwhile, SeleCT, he's got his +1 on its way, and stim nearly complete. That's about 130 seconds through, so 40 seconds away from completion. Drop now coming down in the main. SeleCT is going to pick up and save one of his Marines, but that medevac down to only 40 HP, and as such, is going to have to be very careful. Economically, SeleCT slowly catching up, 51 to 49 SCVs, but considering that difference was greater earlier on, SeleCT is starting to make up some time. He's also producing consistently those SCVs. He's got his first tank out, but as does the barcode Terran. So this is still a very close game. Their army supplies are a bit different. A 13 army supply lead for the Red Terran player, but SeleCT taking some better trades there, leveling out the resources lost to be identical. Also worth noting, only the first medevac coming out now from the Red Terran player. And with that medevac, SeleCT is going to have to be more cautious. Gets another Marine for free there. That's a nice little pickup for him. Just now, it's a big game of positioning. Who can get their tank sieged in the better spot? Who can get the first siege down? Because that really can make a huge difference. Unfortunately for SeleCT though, he loses that tank. He's having to back away frantically, because losing that tank means losing a lot of DPS and splash damage. And as now we see this barcode Terran player moving across with his 2 tanks, SeleCT is going to be in difficulty. He's only got 1 tank. It's not in a sieged up position yet. SeleCT going to be trying to hold the tank sieging for the Red Terran on the low ground, but the Marine count vastly superior to that of SeleCT. SeleCT loses his only tank. The bunker is empty. GG is called, and SeleCT gets taken down by the barcode player. So congratulations to whoever that was. Very nicely played there. SeleCT maybe being a bit too greedy and not quite vigilant enough with the scouting to see exactly what was coming down. So nicely done there. If you enjoyed the cast, make sure that you like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow with yet another new game. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.